So this video is going to be on working with the calf. So a lot of people have issues with tight Achilles tendons, and that also adds to plantar fasciitis, things like that. The big thing to remember is that anytime you're having issues with a tendon, odds are the muscle is tight around that tendon. That's what's adding the tension to it. As you can see here, the Achilles tendon actually goes down, ties into the bottom of the heel, and that's why whenever the calf gets tight, the plantar fasciitis starts. You'll get knots in around the Achilles tendon, things like that, all the way up through the solealis, which is this nice long muscle, into the gastroc, which are the two little diamond-shaped muscles on the side of the calf. So the first thing we want to talk about is kind of stretching out the muscles. So one easy way of doing that, especially when you're sitting down, is just kind of push yourself into a pistol squat position. So you can see here, stretching out the gastroc. But with that, I also want to stretch the calf with the straight leg position. I can do this. This is going to hit my hamstring as well, but I'm just going to pull my toes to me where you can see I've got my heel pulled up off the ground. Like I said, you're going to get a deep stretch in the hamstring, but that's not a bad thing. So go here, then I'll come back here, and I'll just kind of push my hips in front of the ball of my foot, and that way I can put pressure here, again pulling my heel off the ground to know that I'm getting plenty of pressure down on the ball of my foot. A couple other things that you can do is getting a good foam roller. When I say a good foam roller, I mean one that has a hard plastic core, not one that's foam all the way through, but you have a tendency to sink into those, and honestly they just don't last that long. So for this, I'm going to start out at the bottom of my ankle. I'm going to put weight on my hands and my opposite foot and just kind of drive through here and hit the muscle on that side. Anytime I do this, I want to make sure kind of roll my leg over right here and also roll it to the inside. Get the inside head of the gastroc as well. Okay, so you can do 12, 15 passes. If you kind of get to where this is pretty easy on the calf, you can also cross this leg over, add a little bit extra weight to it. It's obviously going to dig in a little bit deeper, but it's not a bad thing. Right there, if you feel like you have a real bad trigger spot or like a touchy area with the foam roller, you can also get a lacrosse ball. One of the big advantages to this is, like I talked about before, you can see where the gastroc kind of covers up the solealis. Solealis actually goes all the way up, covers into the hamstring, and it's kind of hard to get through this muscle to hit the deeper muscle. So I'm just going to take a lacrosse ball, kind of put it on the ground. Remember, less pressure on this. It's a smaller per square inch pressure. Right there. That way I can get up through there. Feel free to still kind of run it all the way across the solealis. Anytime you foam roll or use a lacrosse ball, you can go from the ankle to the knee. Just make sure you don't roll over top of the joint itself. Same thing, I can roll my leg over this way, kind of let my foot fall to where I'm not using those muscles. Right there. Get a little bit of side to side. You can kind of see I've got a knot in my calf right there. So I know that I kind of need to sit down and grind on that side as well. After you foam roll, right back into the stretch. So I'm grabbing my toes, pulling my heel up off the ground. I don't want to just do this because it's just going to stretch my lower back. I want to pull my toes towards me, try to bring my heel up if possible. And then from there, ease up, nice and gentle. Roll forward, cram down again, trying to get the heel off of the ground. Right there. A couple other things that are going to kind of become an issue or maybe like a cofactor in muscle tightness is always going to be hydration. So if you're having muscle cramps, odds are you're underhydrated. You need to increase your water intake, especially around time for sports. Any type of explosive sports you do, whether it's basketball, soccer, excuse me, even jiu-jitsu, combat sports, things like that. I would always suggest making sure that you're getting in plenty of electrolytes. So you can do like an electrolyte tablet beforehand. You can do like a Gatorade Zero, something with very little sugar because that'll add to inflammation. But anything that's going to give you some sodium, potassium, magnesium, zinc, things like that will also help with the cramping and the tightness overall. So with these, I would suggest doing the stretches and doing the foam rolling as much as possible. So 2-3 times a day if you're currently having issues. If you're not currently having issues, once a day, just to keep everything nice and healthy. Another thing that you can do to kind of test your mobility is pointing your toes down. You see how that kind of fires up everything on the side, on the inside. Pulling my toes up, that's going to fire the anterior tibialis right here, and then just start rolling around. That's going to help mobilize the ankle and also take a little bit of pressure off of that joint. So you can go toes down, toes up, external rotation, internal rotation, down, up, external, internal, or you can just do the circles. Circles one side, flip, circles to the other side. And that's it. Thank you very much.